Now, the economy got a bit of a run this week for a change, and with the inflation figures and a little ahead of what they'd like. Wayne Swan put the case that it's largely due to the natural disasters, whereas the Joe Hockey said it's all the government's fault, of course. We'll kick this off by going back exactly 5 years to the day, 2006, when the banana alibi was first used. Here it is. How is it that a single fruit, a banana, can be responsible for boosting the inflation rate by 0.5%?
Well, it hasn't boosted the inflation rate at all, Barry. You see, Peter Costello and John Howard's banana alibi simply doesn't stack up. You can walk down through any supermarket in the country and see that food prices are up across the board. You can sit down to pay your health bills. You can sit down to pay your education bills. You can sit down to pay your transport bills, and you'll see that inflation is up across the board.
Beautifully put. Now, Joe Hockey, on the other hand, this is what he had to say this week about the rising cost of living.
They put their hands in the air and they blame some natural disaster for the significant increase in inflation when it's their own actions through electricity prices, through water prices, through not doing anything about housing affordability. All these things feed through to a higher cost of living for everyday Australians, and the government now is directly to blame.
Some
natural disaster.
You just switch roles, don't you? 5 years on, you spin it around.
Yeah.
But Joe Hockey just say that electricity prices, for example, it's all the government's fault. None of that is the federal government's responsibility.
No, precisely. It's all state. Well, it's state.
Well, hang on. The federal government has these renewable electricity mandated up to 20%. That's an incredibly powerful force pushing up electricity prices.
Driving up the prices, though, to the extent that they are.
Yeah, the infrastructure across the states have been terribly degraded.
I mean, Hockey has got a point, though, when he says that you can't just write off the banana impact and it's all rosy. I mean, there are a series of staples that actually increased in that underlying rate, and that's why you've got most chief economists, apart from Westpac of the banks, suggesting the next rise in interest rates will be up. And Barry, I think your point with Greg Combe was well taken. I mean, it's easy to conflate for the opposition everything that goes up with the carbon tax. You know, people won't be sitting down and disaggregating their bills based on infrastructure spending in the electricity
industry.
They're
already blaming the carbon tax on the increase in power prices. Imagine what it'll be like 12 months from now when it's actually in place.
Exactly. I thought when Greg Combe was talking about how we're expecting another sort of increase in electricity prices in the order of 40% over the next few years, and the carbon price will only be a little bit of that, I thought, well, that's a diabolical message to sell politically, isn't it, whether you agree with the policy or not?